Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. Okay, got it stable. All right. Cuckoo. All righty. Here we go. Got this. Got this. Got this. I got this. I got this. Woohoo! Nice. Okay. Good stuff. All righty. We'll probably wait for another 5 minutes or so. Some people to come on in for the makeup class. So hopefully we got a few people coming in. Boop 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 boo. Boop 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 boop. All right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully we have more people coming in today. Okay. There we go. Hello, Neon. All right. Now we got some people trickling in. That's good. Hello. How's it going today? Ooh. May start a little bit later, just because we'll see if anybody else decides to show up, and we'll get going, I guess. Doing good. All right. Hello. Okay. See if that works. They just write a few messages. Okay. Okay. Hey. Well, that's okay, Neon. That's not a problem. If anybody else remembered, then that's on them. I'm just waiting just like maybe one more minute and then you and I can get started and you can ask me questions and stuff. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, mind you, but at least you could ask me questions nonetheless. So I appreciate you coming out and wanting to learn and stuff. I still feel pretty bad about what happened a couple days ago. I really didn't see that happening, to be perfectly honest. So it's like, yeah, my computer is now fully corrupt. Is Windows is corrupted. I was like really sad. It's like, yeah. It's like an hour and a half before a class, and this is what you're telling me. Hmm, that does not taste good. How are you doing today, Neon? Alrighty. I guess now is a better time than any. Cool. All right. Now as good as time as any. Let's go ahead and get started, and then we'll work our way up from there. Sure. All right. Maybe other people will join us. That's just fine. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to what should have been Wednesday, but is now Friday. End of the week time today. So today, you and I, Neon, or anybody else in the chat, we're going to talk about the last section here of Chapter 3. And so, again, Neon, since it's probably just you and I, unless somebody else chimes in, ask any questions that you may have if it sounds confusing and stuff. Okay, but I'm just going to go over this carefully so that way, it'll be easy to understand and stuff. So, okay, so last time we talked about negations of statements and whatnot. We talked about how to write those out, and that's all well and good. Today we're going to be covering the last section of Chapter 3, so this is going to be a rather important section here. So let's go ahead and focus on the last section of Chapter 3, and we're going to go ahead and give it a go. Now, the last section of Chapter 3 specifically, all right, so section 3.7 talks about arguments. Now, I don't know about you, Neon, but I've been in arguments before. I'm sure you have too. I'm just guessing at this point. Maybe you had some angry words with other people, and then, sadness, and then, you get the general gist. It's not too hard to figure out. In any case, today we're going to look at it from a logical perspective. So we're going to be looking at some statements. We're going to be looking at how to prove that an argument is valid or invalid. So here's how it's going to work. So we're going to set it up in a very particular way. Too many to count? Me too, my dude. Me too. But you know what? To be perfectly honest, you learn from them. It's even though you don't see eye to eye, you learn from them, and then uh, maybe you come to agree to disagree, or just have your own space. That's what you work towards. So that'll be good. All right. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to talk about two things. We're only going to get two conclusions. We're going to get a valid argument. So this is, something to use at home. A valid argument is if the truth table is all true. Okay, so if the truth table is all true, that is what we're going to call a valid argument. Okay. So then, of course, as you can guess here, an invalid argument is, again, if at least one of the values of the final truth table is false. Okay, so if you just have one false there, that's a no-go, that's invalid. Now, the real question comes is how we have to set up these guys, all right? So let's talk about the key of this whole entire section here. You and me, Neon. Let's talk about the key here. The key here specifically, my dude, is basically at the end of the day is that we have to set up the argument in a very specific order. Okay? So here's how it's going to look, all right? So what we'll need to show off next is I'm going to show you here how it generically looks, all right? Maybe with some letters or whatever. And then we're going to kind of put it two and two together here. So let's see how that goes. All right. So the way it goes is that you'll see arguments look like this. So first you have argument 1. Okay. So that could be any number of statements. Again, we don't know. Then you have argument 2. Okay. All right. And then we have a very special symbol here. So we're going to bust out that special symbol here for this one. Okay, let's see if I can grab it. Where is it? This one's actually a little tough to find, so. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to grab this symbol right here. Okay. And then we have the last part there, which is the conclusion. All right. So let's talk about what we got here. All right. So first and foremost here, that 3 little symbols, those 3 little dots, that has a meaning here. We call that, that's basically very fancy notation here for the word therefore. So that's what these 3 little dots represent here. I know it looks weird, but you're going to see them pretty much in every problem, no matter what, Neon. So that's pretty much the way it's going to go for every problem. Now, what's the setup here? Let's talk about that. So the setup is going to work like this. We're going to have, and I'll put this in parentheses here. Actually, I'll put this, yeah. We're going to have argument 1 and argument 2 in its own little bubble. If that, where are you? If that, then conclusion. All right. So we have argument 1 and argument 2. If that, then conclusion. All right. That's what we're looking at here in this instance. Okay. All right. You have any questions so far, Neon? Pretty straightforward. Good. Now here's what we're going to do, Neon. We're going to set up some problems here, all right, with this same setup here. It should be pretty straightforward. I agree. The tough part here, in all honesty, in this section is really just kind of setting this up because it does take a while to do. I'm not going to lie. So let's take a look at a few of them, okay, and we're going to see exactly how this works out. Okay. Okay. So let's take a good look here at this first one. So we're just going to use letters here for right now, and then we'll actually use some words here. Okay, so let's do our first example here. So this example here is going to be number, which one I want to do? Sure. We'll do number 6. Number 6? No, number 4. Number 4. Let's do number 4. Why not? All right, so let's do number 4 here on this page. So number 4 here says, not if not P, then Q, not Q, therefore P. Okay, so that's what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and type that in. Okay. So if not P, then Q. Then we have next line here is not Q. Therefore, I'll put a, that's nice, all right, the part that I don't care about. And I'll put a therefore not P. Therefore P. Okay, so this is what we have here as our problem, all right? And so what we want to do here is we now want to go ahead and set up this problem here to start making a truth table with each of these three statements, okay? So let's take a good look on how we can do that. I'll bring up the document, the Word document again. Okay, so Neon, can you tell me here, my friend? I know it's only you, but how can we set up this problem here using this setup that we have here like so? So you type that out in the chat when you're ready there. How would I set up this particular problem with this setup? Don't forget, you can use this as a nice little template. So all right. What do you think? You stuck? That's fine. That's okay. Let's go through it carefully and see if where you're stuck. Okay. So let's look at argument 1. Okay, so let's go through it one step at a time. What is argument 1 here, Neon? What would be argument 1? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to break it down. Argument 1 is not P then Q. Fair enough, okay? So let's put it this way. So if we're going to set this up here, it says argument 1 and argument 2. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put in argument 1. So we're going to actually put this around another set of the guys. There we go. So we're going to put not, we're going to put not P. If not P, then Q. All right, so that's the first half there. We're going to put an and here in the middle, since that's this and part right here. Okay, so really quick here, Neon, what is argument 2? What is argument number 2? All right, very good. So we have if not P, then Q, and then we'll have not P, or not Q, sorry, and that's going to be the first half of what we have here. All right, that should be all in the brackets that you see here. We just did this first half. Now the only thing left over is the conclusion. So we're going to put an if-then arrow here, right next to everything that we see here. So I'm going to cover this up here for just a second so you can see this a little better. Okay, so put an if-then arrow here, and then if-then P. All right, since that's our conclusion, therefore P. So basically what we've went ahead and did is we went ahead and found out directly how to set up this problem here just using our processes. So the thing that we're going to look at specifically is how we set up the problem here, because this last part here, Neon, is going to be the truth table that we're going to build here together. Okay? And we got to see if they happen to be all true, or if one of them's false, then it's not going to work. It's invalid. So we're going to make a little table here, and let's see what happens. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and put in each one here, and we'll see what we get, buddy. All right. So let's put in our P. Put in P. We'll put in Q. We're going to go ahead and put in not P and not Q. Okay, so reason why is because we're going to be using that here in this problem. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right. And then we're going to find the truth table for everything you see above here, those brackets and arrows and stuff. All right, so we'll start off with our pattern here. It'll be, again, true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Okay. The knots just flip stuff over. I think that's part is pretty straightforward. And then this last part, false, true, false, true. Okay. So we got the first four columns are just basic setup columns that we've used a bunch, so that shouldn't be too tough. Okay, so the next part here is for us to go ahead and do what's in the parentheses here, specifically the brackets. So we want to do if not P, then Q. So if not P, if not P, then Q. All right, let's put this to the test now. All right, so we're going to use this third column, not P, and we'll use the second column of Q. All right, so Neon, you're going to have to kind of remember some rules here. So let's go over them together, okay? So if false, then true. So if false, then true. What will that be, Neon? If false, then true. Again, if you need to look up your tables there, my friend, then go ahead and do that. If false, then true. What do you think that's going to be? What's this? Uh, yeah. That is true. Good. All right. All right. Stay with me here, Neon. All right. All right. Next, if false, then false. So if false, then false. What's that going to be? So if false, then false. If false, then false is. All right, very good. That's right, Neon. Cool. True is correct. All right. All right, next. If true, then true. So if true, then true. So if true, then true. Not quite, my friend. Look at your if-then table. Your if-then table says true, and then the arrow, and then true. And that's going to equal true. So true to true is actually going to be true. Don't look at the yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to look as fast as possible. I just want you to understand it. Take your time, okay? It's just take your time. Look at if I say if the true then true, then like I put up above there, just take a look at the carefully, and then you'll see the conclusion there on that third column. So we did talk about it. It's just I know it's maybe you have a tough time kind of memorizing it, so which is okay. I mean, I'm not going to blame you for that. Let's try this one here. We have if true, then false. So if true, then false. So we go, again, I'll type it out here again. There we go. Okay, if true, then false. All right, good. That's right. Nice. Okay, good, good, good. Nice job, Neon. All right. Okay. We're on our way. We're on our way. All right. Now, let's do the next one here, Neon. All right. I know this is a slow roll here. I know for a question this is a really slow roll, but I just want you. I want to get you comfortable with it, even if it's just you and me today. I want you to get comfortable with the material because you're going to have to practice and do the test with it. So it's definitely something that if you're having a tough time, you can brush up on and ask me questions and whatnot. So next we're going to do the and not Q. So all right. So there we go. We got it. We have we're going to use this column here, and we're going to use the not Q column here. So let's go with this first one. Okay. Let's go with the true and false. So let's type that out here. True and false. True and false is false. True and false is true and false. I promise I'll explain the next one to you. I just want to go through this one with you. I promise. True and false. So we're looking for the and symbol here, which is that little mountain dude. All right, very good. That's right. Okay, let's look at the next one. True and true. So true and true. True and true is true. Very good. That's correct. Okay, good stuff. All right, next is the same thing we had as the first one, so we're going to just fill that one in. True and false is still false. That's not going to change. All right, and then the last part here, we're going to have false and true. So let's put that down here. We got false and true. False and true is going to equal. All right, good. So far, so good. Nice. Nice job, Ben. All right. Now we're going to put the whole thing together. So now we're going to go ahead and put, let me double click on this. Let's go ahead and copy pasta this into here. Look really jank. There you go. That looks pretty ugly, but well, it is what it is. All right. So we're going to take this whole thing we just found here. All right. We're going to take this whole thing we have here. We're going to if this with P. So we're going to if this with this last column here. So let's go through this. We're going to do if false, then true. So if false, then true. If false, then true is, what are we going to have here? So again, if this false, then true. So we're using the arrow here in this case. Ooh, not quite, my friend. That will actually be true. We start with false. So if false, then true. So here's a way you can remember this pretty easily, Neon. If it always starts with false, then it's automatically true. If for an if-then statement. So okay. So one thing, just a way you can kind of remember that pretty fast. All right, let's look at the next one here. That's okay. It's no big deal. Here we got if true, then true. So if true, then true. All right, got it. Perfect. All right. Next. Next, if false, then false. So if false, then false. Again, false here. If false, then false. Okay, good. That's right. And then the last one here is, again, the same thing as we just did, if false, then false. So once again, that's true. Okay, and now you can see here, based on how we set up the problem, notice that the final truth table are all trues. Okay, and because the final truth table are all trues, that means that in this case, the argument is valid, okay, because we got all trues for our final truth table. Okay, so that's how we found that. Are there any questions about that? Okay. How will you remember the brackets above? Are you talking about these brackets here around the first set here, Neon? I like. Let me double click this here. Hang on. You're talking these brackets here, like this first one. Yeah. So if you take a look here, let me show you what I did. And I did this on purpose. Notice I put brackets around how I wrote the setup. So if I wrote the setup there, then essentially, if you want, you can go one step further on the setup. You can put like parentheses around argument 1 and argument 2, like so. So you know exactly how, to put you have parentheses around both arguments, right? And then you got the brackets around that as an extra, kind of saying, hey, these two guys got to go together. That's how it has to go, right? So in this case here, it's the same thing. Like, I guess I should have put brackets around here as well. So let's just kind of separate that out there. So you'd be like, okay, that's what this represented, was like brackets and stuff, which I totally get. So actually, all right. I don't want to confuse you. I could understand that. I hope that wasn't too confusing though. Let me replace that. So if it helps, you could put like brackets around this. I'll put small brackets or whatever. Actually, I don't know why I just didn't do the whole darn thing. Smartness is not what I do right now. Okay. All right. So you can basically just write the brackets with the parentheses like you do in the setup, and you should be good to go. All right. Any other questions, my friend, before we move forward? All right, cool. All right, let's do another problem, okay? I promise you 2 more examples and we're done, okay? 2 more, all right? I know it's just you and me. 2 more, and then we good, all right? All right, bro. So just hang in there with me. All right. Next. Okay. So let's take a look here at a couple of examples here. All right, and we're gonna do truth tables with words. Okay, so let's look at we're gonna look at a couple of these here for our last 2 examples, and we'll see exactly how it works. Your phone's hot right now. I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. Do you have it plugged in at least? I feel bad. I feel bad. All right. Yeah. Cool. All right. All right, let's look at 26, all right? So we're going to look at 26 and we're going to see if this is a argument or not. So let's read this off here. So if all people obey the law, then no jails are needed. Some jails are needed. Therefore, some people do not obey the law. Okay, so this is our argument here. And we want to determine whether or not this is a valid argument. Now, the question that we have to take into account here is that for number 26 is how we're going to define P, Q, and R. So define P and Q. Let's define P and Q here. Sorry, not P, Q, and R. Okay, so Neon, what would P be here in this case? What would P? So we're going to define both P and Q here. what would P be here in this case? I'll make it bigger for you since you're on a. I didn't realize you're on a phone, so there you go. All right, all people obey the law. All right, good. That's correct. Okay. All right, totally agree with that. How about Q? How about Q? Almost, not quite. Almost. You have to remember. Remember to pick a positive statement. So it's not, you don't want to pick no jail cells are needed. You actually want to take away the no, and you actually just want to say jail cells are needed. Yeah, exactly. I know it's really weird, but because it's so much easier just to put like not in front of it, it's just like it makes your life 10 times easier, so you don't have to like guess. Okay, let's take a look at each one here, all right? Because what we need to do is we need to put everything in this problem in terms of symbolic statements, okay? Basically letters, all right? So it says if all people obey the law, then no jails are needed. So based on what you have for P and Q, what do you get here for this? So based on P and Q here, how would you set up that very first sentence? If all people obey the law, then no jails are needed. Okay, good. That's right. Very nicely done. So if P, then not Q. All right. So that is definitely the first statement there. All right. What about the second statement says some jails are needed. So straight up, that's just Q. I don't think so. We already defined Q. We're just like, okay, nothing much going on there. All right. We'll have our little underliney liney. All right. And then therefore, we'll put our little therefore symbol in there. So it's just super fancy symbols. All right. Okay, so therefore, what should be our last? How can we symbolize the last part there? So it says. So we have this one here, 26. What's that last one there? Some people, it says, some people do not obey the law. How would you represent that as a letter? Some people do not obey the law. So basically, it's the opposite of, how would you write that? No, that's not a different statement there. Some people do not obey the law is opposite of that of P. If all people obey the law, then the opposite of that is actually going to be, again, that'll be just straight up not P, just like so. So we don't have three statements here. We just have the two of P and Q. So that's what we determine first, how many statements we have. We have two, and then after that we have just the two represented there. So basically, the best way to look at that, Neon, is just look at the word not. You see, not obey the law. So okay, it's okay, dude. It's all good, bro. You cool. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Let's go ahead and take a look at a table here using this. All right. So let's insert a new table. All right. Now, I don't know how many columns we'll need, but we'll need some. All right. Now, before we do that, though, we need to set this up now that we have everything put in here. Okay, so remember, if it helps, Neon, you can label this as, again, argument 1. Okay. This here is going to be argument 2. And then this here is going to be your conclusion. So if it helps with the template that we talked about from before, like maybe you have a tough time seeing it or whatever, then at least you know where to kind of plug and chug the stuff when you want to put it together. So knowing that, what's our statement that we want to make a truth table for? Let's go back to our template here, by the way. So this is, again, argument R and argument 2. I'm going to copy paste this here. So what would our statement look like if we want to set up this problem here appropriately? Okay. All right. So, okay, what about that first part there? P and Q. All right, so here's the thing about this one. All right, so the first part here, we have argument 1. So you forgot the whole, we want this whole statement here. So this entire thing, all right? I know what you kind of did there, but it's actually taking the entire thing there, Neon. So this entire thing is going to be argument 1. It's all or nothing. That's what we're going to do, okay? So I'm going to take this whole thing of if P then not Q and plop it in right there. Then I'll add the Q there to go with that. And then close the bracket, and then do an if then arrow, and then do the not P as you pointed out. Okay, is that starting to make a little bit more sense about what we have to do there? It's always all or nothing. You take the whole thing on that first line, not just the first letter, but the whole thing. Oh, right on, dude. It's okay. Like I said, if it helps, then you just put parentheses around it and be like, ah, now I see that, you know? It's all good. It's all good. I've seen and heard worse, trust me on that. That's just pretty minor. No problem. Let's make up some truth tables, yo. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to put P and Q and not P and not Q. I'm just going to start off with that since we're using all of them. All right, so we're going to go with true, true, false, and false. And true, false, true, false. All right, not P, just reverses it around. Nothing crazy. All right, same with not Q. Fine. All right. So those parts, not too hard. Those are really easy. Again, those require no effort. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at if P then not Q. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's look at the first column and the last column here. Ooh, hello. So the first column and the last column here. Let's take a look here. So we have if true, then false. If true, then false. All right, awesome, dude. Nice. All right, let's do the next one. If true, then true. So if true, then true. So if true, then true. All right, excellent. That's right. Okay, so that's true. All right, let's look at the next one here. If false, then false. So if false, then false. All right, very good. That's right. Nicely done. And then lastly here, if false, then true. If false, then true. All right, great job. That's correct. Good, good. Okay. So far, so bueno. Nice job, dude. All right. Next, we're going to AND that statement here together. So let's AND it with Q. Okay, so we're going to take this column here, and we're going to take this column here. So let's go over it carefully here. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, there we go. Read this a little, extend further. No. Sadness. All right, there we go. That'll be better. All right, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to do with this. All right. So we have false and true. So we have false and true. What should we put here? False and true. False and true. All right, good beans. False. All right, next. Next. True and false. So true and false. True and false. What we got here? All right. Good stuff. I agree. Good, good. All right, that's false. Next is true and true. So true and true. All right, true and true is true. Good, good. And then we did this one before, true and false, and that's going to be false. So that one's okay. Okay. Now we're going to do the whole thing, the whole shebangity bang. So let's do it. All right, so we're going to do this whole thing. Actually, I probably should put that in the other thing. Let's do that. Actually, we'll put that in. All right, there we go. Much better. Much nicer to look at the very least. There we go. Much better. All right. So we're now going to put an if then here. All right, so we're going to take this as our if. If all of them are false, is it also a valid statement? No. No, it only if they are all true. So basically, if you get 1, then that's it, you're done. So yeah, it doesn't go the other way where they're all false. Where they're all false. Can't say anything. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So again, we're going to if this first column here, and then we'll go ahead and why have we done this? All right, so we're going to if this first column here, and we'll then this column here with the not p. So we have if false, then false. So if false, then false. So if false, then false. All right, true. That's correct. All right. Again, same thing actually. If false, then false. That's also true. So no point repeating a question. If true, then true. If true, then true. All right, excellent. That's right. Pick it up on that. That's good. Lastly, if false, then true. If false, then true. Okay. All right, so that's true. So as you can see here, Neon, we have all 4 of them to be true. So in this case here, based on our observations, the argument is once again is valid because all of them turned out to be true. Remember, if one of these guys was false, then it'd be invalid. If all of them were false, that's still invalid. Okay? The only way we can get all of them to be the only way we can get valid is if all of them are true at the end of the day. All right. How you doing so far, fam? We good? Just got one more example to do and we're done, okay? I promise. Pressured but fine, okay. It's okay. I know I'm asking you a lot of questions. I know. But don't worry, I'm not look, hey man, this is about learning. This isn't about, necessarily this is about learning, man. This isn't about criticizing you or anything. Just man, I'm super chill, you know that. So, whether you get it right or wrong, I'm here to help so that way, we can correct some errors or whatever. So if you don't get everything right, it's no big deal at all, man. We're only human. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm here to help you at the end of the day, like I said the first day. So but trust me when I say this, Neon, I don't expect perfection. That's I don't expect perfection. Don't feel pressured because of that. At the end of the day, I just want you to do better. If you feel like you're having a tough time, that's why you ask me questions and I let you know. All right. Let's do this last one here. Okay. Let's write this next one down. All right. So I'm going to go through this one here very carefully. All right. So it says, if I'm tired, I'm edgy. If I'm edgy, then I'm nasty. If I'm tired, then I'm nasty. Okay. So actually for this one here, I'm going to point this out to you. For this one, I'll guide you through this problem here. So, because you did really well, man, participating and stuff, so I really appreciate you. All right, so we're going to actually have three statements here. P here says I'm tired. Okay. Q says I'm edgy. So he's edgelording. All right. Like every lobby ever. And R here says I'm nasty. So all right, so in this case here, we actually have three statements as opposed to two. Now, if we set up this problem here based on what we see, we see, if I'm tired, I'm edgy. So basically, it basically goes, if P, then Q. That'll be our first statement, our first argument. So maybe, again, I'll put it over here as hopefully a way to help. So this is argument one. Next one is, if I'm edgy, then I'm nasty. So I'm edgy. If I'm edgy, then I'm nasty. There you go. And this could be our argument two. All right. We'll underline this part here. Okay, and then finally, we have the therefore symbol guy thing. So we'll just say therefore. Oops. So therefore, if I'm tired, then I'm nasty. So if I'm tired, then I'm nasty. So in this case here, tired is P and nasty is R. So P, if P, then R. Okay? So this is basically our three statements here. This is our conclusion. Okay? All right. Okay, so that's how we went about and just saw each of the three statements here. There any questions about that? Hopefully that wasn't too bad just to kind of put together. Should be pretty straightforward. All right, now it'll be time for us to make a table. And this table is going to be pretty big. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm not going to need many columns, but yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you here how we can deal with three cases like we have here in this instance. Okay, so I'm going to copy this to the bottom here because I'm running out of space. Okay, so the first thing I want you to recognize here is that we have three statements here of P, Q, and R. And that's going to kind of affect a lot of the things that we're going to be doing here in this table. Okay, so for P, Q, and R here respectively, Neon, we're going to first put in our pattern here for P, which is true, 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 and true, and false, and false, and false, and then finally false. Again, the homework should put that in for you, but if you don't see it, at least you've seen it once. Next is an alternating true false for Q, and then R is just true alternating. It's basically alternating true false. Okay, so this takes care of all 8 of the cases that we're going to look at. Now, the way we need to solve for this is we need to look at it this way. We need to look at each one here individually and then be able to put it all together. So let's see what happens. So we have, actually, this one here, actually, no. I'll have you do this one, not in terms of the truth table. I'll show that out. But could you tell me how you could set up this argument for the truth table? I want to be sure that you got that. So again, I'll bring it back here again for the template here, Neon. So tell me on the chat there how you would set up this particular thing. So how would you set up this problem with that given information? Okay, so if you take out the You're really close here, buddy. Really, really close. Yes, you're almost there. Almost there, Neon. Okay. All right, that's correct. Very nice. Good job, Neon. Nice, dude. All right. That is absolutely correct. Okay. So we got this. Okay, so we got no problem. That's spot on, my dude. Absolutely. All right. Now you got everything put together there. Very nice. Very nice, my man. So we got and Q, then R. Okay, put the bracket there like you put there, and then you put the extra arrow. All right. And then we'll put in parentheses here, if P, then R. Okay, there we go. We got it. That's absolutely right. Very nice, dude. Nice job. Okay, well now that we have that, let's go ahead and see what we're working with here. Okay, and let's do the truth table here, all right? So we're going to take each one of these statements, go if P then Q, and then we'll do this one here, if Q then R, and we'll do if P then R. Just do those as nice little buggers. So, all right, we'll go down the line here. This one I'll do. So, if true, then true is going to be true. If true, then true again is true. If true, then false is false. If true, then false is false. And these are all true because they start with false. Okay. Q and R. If true, then true is true. If true, then false is false. If false, then true is true. If false, then false is true. True, then true, true. True, false is false. True and true. Okay, so that's Q and R. There you go. Now we do P and R. So if true, then true is true. If true, then true is, oh, sorry, almost. If true, then false is false. If true, then true, well, that's definitely true. True, then false, well, that's definitely false. And the rest are true because they start with false. Okay, so there are our three tables that we have here. Okay, so these are our truth tables that we have. And so all we need to do is go ahead and put in our guys. We're going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to put that in here. Oh, how did that happen? All right. And then we have P and R, right? Yep. Cool. All right. So we're going to put in, these two together here first. We're going to AND them. So let's AND them together. All right. So ANDing them together here, we're going to take this column right here, and we're going to take this second column right here. We're just going to AND them. True and true is going to be true. True and false is false. False and true is false. False and true is still false. True and true is true. True and false is false. True and true is true. True and true is true. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now the last column here will be our final column. So now we're going to put everything together. Okay, so basically we're just using the if then here. I know. There we go. So basically, we're just using the if then here for this. So we're going to use this column here as our if, and then the previous column before that is our then. So let's go down here. We have if true, then true. It'll be true. If a false, then false. That will be true. If false, then true. That'll be true. False, then false is true. True, then true is true. False, then true is true. True and true is true. True and true is also true. So as we can see here, all of them, actually, every example just turned out that all the argument here is also valid. So again, okay. Remember, if this just contained a false right here, Neon, then it would be invalid. That's it. It has to, at least one false has to occur, and then the whole thing's invalid. But if it's all true like this one, then you're good to go. All right. Any questions about today's lesson, Neon? I'm sorry for keeping you, my friend. All right. Hey, Dion, I want to thank you for hanging out. I'm going to give you a little bit of inside info. Because that is the end of chapter 3, we are going to have a test, but because of what happened yesterday, Wednesday, pardon me, yeah, that test will be delayed probably by another week or so. I'm going to make an announcement on Monday. I'll probably extend it like another couple days. So I'll make an announcement on Monday regarding the test, the first test that we'll have for the class. So come on back on Monday, regular time this time, I promise, and we should be good to go. So we'll talk about how the testing and stuff goes on Monday. All right, my friend. If there are no more questions about that, all right, cool. All right, thank you very much, Neon, for coming on out here today. I hope you learned a little bit of something. All right. And I will see you on Monday. All right. You take care of yourself and you have a wonderful weekend. All right. Have a great one, and we'll see you Monday. Take care of yourself, buddy. All right, we'll see you. All right.